You know, Miseducation, you know, wow. Every day it means something more to me, actually. People automatically thought, you know, oh my, she must not have done, you know, maybe their teachers didn't teach anything, but that wasn't it. The meaning behind it was really sort of a catch in me learning that, you know, when I thought I was my most wise, really not wise at all. And in my humility, you know, and in those places that most people wouldn't expect a lesson to come from, that's where I learned so much. And, you know, and so I termed the phrase miseducation, you know, not because it was a miseducation per se, but just because it was sort of contrary to what the world says is education, you know. It was this education that came from life and experience, you know, and not necessarily academic, all academic, but related to living. I'd gone through a lot, you know, a huge emotional and spiritual battle prior to the creation of that album. And the funny thing is that while I was going in the battle, I couldn't see my hand despite my face. I mean, I really couldn't see anything because I was so emotionally entangled in everything that I'd gone through. But it was like once I was delivered from that situation, you know, and once I got the perspective, was able to look back at heartache and look back at pain and disappointment, for some reason, it all was so clear. You know, it was just like you know, the picture started to form itself. The songs started to create themselves. I was able to look back and be a narrator of my own situation. But the interesting thing was that it couldn't happen while I was in the middle of the confusion. You know, it was about a young woman, you know, in the music industry, you know, and the pitfalls, the snares, the traps, and they don't stop. They keep coming. You know, they don't stop. I think that because I grew up in such a loving family structure, I thought that everybody did. And therefore, I thought that everybody reaped the benefit of that love. And pretty naive way to think. And so I learned very important lessons about people and their voids. And how when you have voids, you know, like a black hole just sucks, you know, and consumes everything into it, you know. And I met a lot of those people. You know, here I was, this ship, I just want to love, you know, and I met a lot of black holes, a lot of people with a lot of deep, deep, painful voids, and, you know, who found it easy to take advantage and to manipulate and to deceive someone with me who just, you know, all I want to do is love. I had to learn from those things, painfully. You know, but even now, I thank God for correction. You know, I even thank Him for hardship because it shows me exactly where I am, where I was, and where I need to be. So it's important. It was a very important record. Interestingly enough, you know, that record was all about what I feel, you know. And it's going to be interesting to see what the next record becomes, because that will probably be about what I think, you know, as opposed to what I feel, everything that I feel, you know. It'll be what I feel still, you know, but it's also going to be something conscious. You know, a lot of that was unconscious creation, unconscious creativity, because I was so overwhelmingly emotional. You know, it was just like I just had to write about this. Every time that God navigates my ship, there's nothing cerebral going on. There's very little, you know, there's very little thought. It's almost as if I have the directions. Every time I try to do it myself, I'm conjuring up my own concoction and trying, and you know, it's a little more difficult to do it that way because it takes a lot of thought, it takes a lot of energy. But it's like when I'm led, you know, it kind of really is just. It's all there and it's clear. These are your orders, just go forth and carry them out. And so I was going to say, you know, that this album gets to be what I think, but I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what that will be? Because I think that what I've consciously decided to do is be patient and wait for those instructions again, as opposed to the instructions from the record company. You know, I can't unfortunately, I can't fulfill their needs. You know, I can't because it's devoid of all feeling. You know what I mean? I have to make sure that what I create. You know, I never want to condescend. There are a lot of people who condescend to the audience. You know, they just think, oh, they'll like anything. Just throw a beat on it and put your voice on it. But if it doesn't move me, then I don't think it's worthy enough to put out there and move someone else. You know what I mean? Like it has to be something that is personally, you know, is something that I need personally. That's my barometer for whether or not it's good for the people. Not just anything, just, you know, just make a beat, it's hot, throw it out there. You know, that I can't use that barometer. That doesn't work with me.